Okay, so we're talking about resiliency as our theme. Specifically, I'm going to tell you about resiliency and the ability to bounce back better. Not just to be resilient, but to be resilient with a much better outcome. And we're going to learn that resiliency is not something that happens as a single event, as a reaction to an adverse event, but rather a lifelong experience, a lifelong set of challenges that we can live up to. So we all have our own personal stories. I'm not going to say much about mine. You heard a little bit about me in my introduction. I had gone through a number of different areas of redefining myself coming out of graduate school, pharmaceutical industry, and then teaching, doing some work in the legal industry, and then finally redefining myself as a medical school professor. All those things brought lots of disappointments. They brought lots of lessons, lots of things that were challenges to me to move on and to move on to be better. So resilience is a lifelong, career-long process that never ends. It's not a single reaction to a single thing. As we talk about resilience, we talk about resilience to become something better than we were. So we look at past successes, and with those past successes, we remind ourselves how strong we actually are. With that, we have confidence to take some calculated risks for both professional and personal things, and with those calculated risks, bring opportunities for advancement as a result of those challenges. But enough about me. Let me tell you about a story about somebody a lot more interesting than me. This goes back almost 100 years ago. And it was a young man in his late 20s who had described a creative project, which you see here. And this little guy on the screen is called Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Well, the person who created Oswald the Lucky Rabbit didn't think he was very lucky because he entered into a legal agreement that actually cost him his own rights to his own project. He lost his job, he lost his fortune, he was financially broke and angry. He was distraught and ready to give up. He felt like a personal failure, somebody who really needed resilience at this very low point in his life. And that's exactly what happened. On a train ride from New York to California, he started from nothing, literally went back to the drawing board and created a new design. He worked tirelessly for this new design and this new project, and realized that this was going to be his chance to come back better than he was before. So with resilience, he slowly built up this better project. The new project was to create a film, and the film would use drawings, and the drawings would incorporate a sound, which would be synchronous, such that as the characters were talking, you would have synchronous sound. This was something that was never done before. And when he set out to do it, they told him it couldn't be done. The little guy's name is Steamboat Willie, more commonly known today as Mickey Mouse. And the character, the guy who's holding him, of course, is Walt Disney. This was a true accomplishment where he redefined the industry and did something that people told him he couldn't do. He took personal risks. He risked his own monetary success and came up with a very, very resilient result. The second professional crisis was to do the whole thing on a bigger scale. And the bigger scale was to take a small film and to make it up into a full-length feature. That full-length feature was an 80-minute film called Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It was a calculated risk. They told him it couldn't be done. He couldn't get financing for it because bankers told him it was too risky of a venture. So he took his own money, put his own money into it. Resilience, he didn't just recover, but he recovered better. Once again, Walt Disney redefined the industry by this stroke of creative genius. The story that Walt Disney has for us all is that resilience is an active process. It's not simply a reaction to a single event. It is a pattern of personal growth, spans a lifetime, draws on past successes where Walt Disney took calculated risks, and the resilience is not just recovering, but recovering better. Thank you.